Well, hello everyone, so got bored of being ill for a couple of days, got to get outside do something, so I'm just fettling with some little things on the Mini, sort of before handover. A few things like the pipework down there, pretty loose, so we've wrapped some tape around it. We've also added some felt, as you can just see, just in this area. It's just not the best, but from here, at least it's not this like shiny alloy ducting for a, you know, tumble dryer. We also had issues with the fan, which we tested all the wiring of the day, found it to be fine. Tested the relays, tested the, so prompted the ECU to test it, fan came on. After I re-plugged it, re-pinned the plug, one of the pins was a bit bent. So then just to complete the test, I bought another sensor, like £7, plugged this in, heated it up with a hot air gun, and then I could read the readings on the gauge here and on the computer, and it got to like 110, and then the fan comes on. So we're going to see if we can bloop bloops to bring the fan in at like 98 degrees, 95, something like that, just a bit earlier, because it's a little fan, you know, give it some chance. It doesn't come on the dash as like hot and overheating. It's not at maximum yet. 110, pretty blooming hot in it for the fan to come on, in my opinion. But maybe they just run at this temp. I have heard about that. The later direct injection petrol's running a bit hotter, so maybe 110 is fine. It just makes me nervous. My experience of turbo diesels. The other thing we're doing is the rear pockets are always like sort of an unfinished thing on Minis. You can buy these little pocket liners. They're like 40 quid a pair, and I couldn't really see how they fit, so I thought I'd make my own. Basically, what you've got in the back of these pockets is just like a nothingness. So we added some insulation and a load of underseal and loads of wax oil. So I just want basically a base to that. So if you put something down there, it stays there, and you can get it out again, and it's not like right at the bottom where the sills are. So we went for a bit of old school stuff. We're over here. Yes, here we go. Piece of cardboard. Started cutting out to shape. Adjusted it, added some measurements, the curve if necessary, and then I thought if I make it out of this board, it will slide in, it'll never go anywhere. Bit of felt over the top, maybe a bit of carpet on top. Robert's your mother's brother. So it went from that to these, and they're currently just drying with some clear coat on them because it's sort of very porous hardboard, and it could get damp down there. So a bit of lacquer to stop them sucking in the moisture and just going. And then we'll put some felt on the other sides, shove them in, show you what I've got. Alright everyone, so they're in. As you can see, not a bad finish at all really. I'll show you the other side, but you don't really want to see that, do you? Do you want to see the other side? No, I didn't think so. It's basically like this, just turn the screen upside down, it's basically the same. But as a little final touch, we've got a bit of carpet that I've cut to size, which matches this carpet, which is, you know, nice. So let's just see if we can just we've got a tiny dab of glue on the back of it just so it doesn't fling out, you know, when you're rolling. And just pop that in as a final touch, and oh, so very nice. So you can put, you know, spare gearboxes, clutch, oil filter, oil, tools, or Mrs. Piggy might want to put some bags in there, or her bag, or some shopping, or one apple. There we go, sorted. I'll do the same on the other side, with a bit of carpet and plush. We're going to install this Autofireman in the back of this Mini, this classic Mini. Now you can install them pretty much anywhere on your car, which is quite handy. The installation process takes essentially seconds. Got magnets, or of course you can clamp them down if you wanted to, but literally magnets, done. This simple, watch. So I'm going to put it there, installed. Now the bit to connect the two up is important. So this connects to this, and this goes round where you're going to have a potential fire, and connects to the other end. And this, connect, they just push in, no tools needed. And there's some cable ties and sticky stuff if you want to like tidy this up. Now I probably will get another one to go in the engine bay, but thanks Autofireman for sending me one of these just to try out. Now if you test it, of course you can't use it again. It's a one-time deal. They're pressurised, there's something in there that blows power out or something and puts car fires out, which is nice. Now I can tell if there's a fire going on in the front of my car because I'm driving forward. Admittedly, I would like one under the engine bay. It gets pretty hot. But I've got high pressure fuel here and the battery here, and by the time I know that this boot might be in flames, it's going to be too late to save the car, or maybe even save me or the people around me. So I want this installed as just a safety measure, that if it starts pouring fuel everywhere and I don't realise, and boom, it goes up. When it gets hot, or a naked flame gets near this, it sets off a chain reaction, sets them both off. And I'll hear it for sure, because if you look at other videos on YouTube, you hear this going off, but it will be safe. So yeah, essentially, well, I've shown you how to install it already. All you have to do is pop your little thingy in the thingy like that, and we'll pop the other thingy over in the other thingy like that somewhere, and then we're going to connect that onto there, that onto there, and tie them up somehow. We'll just leave them on the floor, probably a bit inconvenient, then we'll be done. I always find it fun to read through the instructions after you've installed the product, and then you can just see if your guesswork went well. It kind of did. The information here is, if the temperature without flame reaches 600 degrees, it will go off. If there's flame along the thermal line, it will also go off. So it doesn't have to be a very hot flame, but if the flame touches up anywhere there, or it gets to 600 degrees in here, one, we're in trouble, but two, the fire extinguisher thing will go off. So you can see we put the line across the top of there. I could have placed it underneath as well, I suppose, but the likelihood is that fuel will enter combustion area, high pressure in here, sparkies, and I just want that reassurance that it won't completely burn the car down and kill my wife, or me, or my shopping that's in the back here, as I do like my food. So thank you very much for watching this episode of Kev, which also had the installation of an Autofireman. It took longer to do this video than it did to install it, to be honest. Literally magnets straight in. They provide some sticky tabs. I'd highly recommend you get yourself some of these, which are quite useful if you can't use cable ties to attach it to things. They're stealth, adhesive. Take the little backing off, and then they create the little tabs. I use it for wiring all sorts, so you can put it out whenever you wanted it. I don't think they're race certified, but maybe they are now. I've had this for a couple of years in my cupboard. They are super easy and actually not that expensive. For a bit of self-assurance, say if you're trying to get the bottle out under your seat and run around, you just know this is going to go off in your engine compartment, in your boot compartment, not suitable for passenger compartments, and it will stop your car burning down. So, useful tips from Piggy Power. Stop your car burning down, which is nice. Thanks for watching. Subscribe.